Madeline. Today, we celebrate Mother's Day in many different ways, many different traditions, annual customs, many different memories. I gave the flowers this morning in loving memory of my mother, and I hunted and hunted and hunted until I found this particular basket, because if she were here this morning, and she would be if she could be, physically, she'd be wearing all those colors. She and Yvette would have been great fashion friends. Mother loved boldness and color. And so that reminds me of her. All of us in this sanctuary today have something in common. And in these days, and in this society and world, it's good to remember what we have in common, because we often focus on things that divide us. But today, we have something in common. We have all had mothers who brought us to birth, and mothers who raised us. And so today, I want us to honor those mothers in this room. And when I speak of that, yes, biological mothers, but there's great, great love in adoptive mothers, foster mothers, mothers of different kinds, because they're all human beings that are expressing the love of God that knows no condition, loves its creation without limit. So I invite all those who are mothers, however you define it, to stand this morning and let us acknowledge you. And don't sit down yet. We want to affirm you. Your love is our blessing for a lifetime. Your love is our blessing for a lifetime. Let's affirm this for them. Your love is our blessing for a lifetime. And I invite those who are grandmothers to continue standing. I know there's a new one right here in Carlotta. And yes? Good, and Colleen. So any other grandmothers, stand. And we affirm you with your love has embraced generations. Your love has embraced generations. Together, your love has embraced generations. And now, I ask all women who have performed the motherly role of caregiver to please stand. You can continue if you're already standing, but anyone else who's had a role of caregiving. And we affirm, you have expressed the nurturing mother principle to others. You have expressed the nurturing mother principle to others. And I won't ask you to stand, but you may be seated. Those who express this motherly principle may happen to be so-called males. I know I have had the role of caregiver for about 15 years of my life for both my parents, and I know there are others of you who made this sacrifice, putting another's needs before your own, so that you could sustain them, heal them, or graciously help them in this life and begin a new life in spirit. All of this is the expression of God working through you as love. So in our unity tradition, we do not limit it. However, we do not acknowledge our biological mothers. We've all had many different stories. And for a minister, two of the most challenging Sunday talks to present during the entire year are, you guessed it, Mother's Day and Father's Day, which will come in June. And we might ask why. It seems like such a great time to honor those we love. Well, it's because the human experience is quite diverse and different for so many of us. And for some of us, we have a complicated relationship with our biological mother or another significant woman in our life. And so today is a time of honoring, but it's also a time of acceptance, understanding, and forgiveness. But before we go any further, in tribute to those mothers who were not physically present to stand with the rest of you, let's light a candle of honor for them. Whenever we light a candle in tribute to another, it's a reminder. One, we see the light of the candle flame, and it can be a reminder to us to hold warmth and light for someone we honor that we cannot physically see. And I was reminded yesterday, one of the groups that we host here from the entire region was talking about Mother's Day and honoring prayer, and one of the esoteric students spoke up and said, yes, whenever we remember someone in prayer, we are truly sending light to them that they can sense and be aware of. So there is value to remember those dear to us at this time. So on this annual Mother's Day, perhaps you will be doing this later this afternoon, we take our mothers and grandmothers and stepmothers and other precious people in our life, perhaps to brunch, or we take them to the Arboretum, or something to bring them joy, to spend time with them in a beautiful and enjoyable way. But it reminds me of unity. Those of you that know unity know that we have had a tradition of an international prayer ministry since about 1891, that people can still call, contact online, in the old days telegraph, if you can imagine, or write a letter to Unity headquarters and ask for prayer support 24/7. This has been going on now 130 years of nonstop prayer. I like to think of it as this great river of prayer that you have the opportunity to dive into the silent unity consciousness and be supported by prayer. Well, I bring it up because once a year we have Unity's World Day of Prayer in September. And if you can imagine, that was actually controversial at times. Why? Because Unity emphasized nonstop, continuous prayer. And some felt to take one day of the year and make a big deal about Unity's prayer ministry was kind of denying the fact that it operated every day and night of the entire year by focusing on one day. So by analogy, I thought, wow, mothers are pretty amazing. And although it's good to have one day of the year that we pay tribute, wouldn't it be more appropriate to try to carry that love, that honor, that respect, that gratitude on a daily basis? It's not just one and done. It's an ongoing love. So today I wanted to bring up some questions, some thoughts perhaps, of how we might cherish that mother still on earth or beyond. You can still cherish her. And the first thought that came to my mind is, Mother had her own dreams before you were born. I'm embarrassed to say how old I was before I realized that my parents had a life before I came into the world. They had a life, dreams and goals that were more than just bringing me into the world, although they cherished me. But this idea that Mother is more than just my provider, the one that kisses my boo-boos, the one that always puts my needs first. She's God's creation. She has goals. She has dreams that are important to her. And to love her, I think we have to honor that. She's not our short order cook. She's not our chauffeur only. She's not our fixer. She does all these things out of love. But our love should be more than just a gratitude for what she does for us. It should be a love for her. And so that first thought reminds me, this might be scary. How might her life look today if she hadn't given birth to you? Something to contemplate. What would her life look like? Well, Mother, of course, is going to say, you were the most important thing in my life, bringing you into the world. And I'm sure that's true. However, she did have an existence, does have an existence independent of your wants and needs. I encourage us to honor that, to honor what brings her joy. So give her the opportunity to explore her wants, her needs, what interests her, her fashion, and give her time. Give her the opportunity to put herself first. Wow, that's a challenge. I'm going through a situation in my own life. Many of you know that I am moving to another part of the city, and friends are endeavoring to mother me by helping me on the move. And I'm struggling a little bit letting others help me. That seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? But if we get in a routine of approaching life a certain way, then sometimes letting go and letting others support and assist can be a little bit of a challenge. And so you might find that with Mother. Has anyone ever heard those words? Well, Mother, I've been looking for the perfect. Oh, don't waste your money on me. It's not important. So we have to practice putting mother's needs first and honoring them. And at the same time, those of you living this motherly role have to be willing to support. Have to be willing to receive. To let others put you on the pedestal, so to speak. So just imagine, what would it be if mother put her needs, her goals first over yours? Now we may think, oh, but it's only natural that mother put your needs first when you're a child, because you need lots of things. You need food, you need care, you need protection. But these patterns we can carry throughout our life, into our advanced years. I'll take an example, not to criticize, but just to observe. My own brother, he would come to visit my mother when I was taking care of her, and she was getting into her 90s, and, well, Mother, what's for dinner tonight? I said, she's retired from that. But he still looked to her to meet all of his needs. And I'm afraid I would get a little testy at times. Give her a break. You fix her dinner. I remembered saying to her one time when I was doing all the shopping, cooking, and everything, I said, Mother, how did you do the grocery shopping and cook 3 meals a day for us for 50 years? Well, it took a little effort, she'd say. But these shifting of roles, that's a way to honor mother. Not just the one meal that you might take her out to today, but how on a more consistent basis can you support her and let her need come first? There is a book entitled God is a Verb by Rabbi David Cooper. The author challenges us to develop new connections and heart openings with the divine source of existence, with God. And as children, mothers seem to us as that divine source of existence, that great provider of care and nurturance. But perhaps instead of God as a verb, we can say mother is a verb. Mother is a process, a way of love and caregiving. And to see the one we call mother in a greater way than just as a provider or caregiver. The commentator Jason Durr wrote, God, then, is not a force who acts on the world through coercion, violence, or the suspension of physics and free will. God is something that we participate in. God is something that we participate in. God is a verb, an action we bring to the world to make love, justice, mercy, joy, and goodness known. Could mother be a verb? And therefore, could we free her from her tasks? Perhaps mother is something we participate in. Yes, all the males too. In our fundamental unity teaching, we all speak that we are children of God, creations of God, and therefore we have qualities of our divine parent. We have God qualities or spiritual qualities. Charles Fillmore named them these ideals we see in our window. But there's something a little more basic. If you are a child of God, a creation of God, you have God qualities. And these qualities are not limited to your physical gender. Men can be great mothering figures if they look to take care of someone, provide for the welfare of someone. They're acting this motherly role. The father principle we'll talk about in June. But today we can focus on, regardless of our gender, can we make mother a verb? You've heard the old expression, there's no greater compliment than imitation. No greater compliment than imitation. So to truly honor a mother, someone who has been a mother figure in your life, do them honor by imitating them. This morning, in our divine discussions at 9 o'clock, we were talking about what we learned from mothers in our lives by how they demonstrated for us caregiving, respect, honor, acceptance. We can go on, and people shared stories of how their mother modeled those great human qualities for them by how she treated others. So, throughout this week, I invite you to consider honoring mother by imitating mother as a verb, mother as a process, mother as a way of treating others in your life with goodwill, with care, with respect, with tenderness, as Holly sang. So I invite you to join with me now in a time of inner reflection. To close your eyes if you choose. And just allow your mind's eye to behold something your mother taught you. You may see her image. You may recall an event in your life where she demonstrated to you love, compassion, understanding, goodwill, acceptance of others, a welcoming embrace. See that image and realize you can make it a keepsake to return to over and over, just as you would a familiar piece of jewelry or souvenir that you keep at home. You can make a keepsake out of an image of mother. And it will be available to you to turn to when you're struggling in your life path to be loving and understanding, to be unprejudiced, to accept others. Bring to your mind that keepsake of what mother taught you. And if in this process within your soul, considering Mother. If any concern arises, that you were disappointed in any way in your relationship with her, in this stillness, in this silence, is an opportunity to give the greatest gift, the gift of forgiveness. In modern talk, cut her a break. Acknowledge she was doing the best she knew how to do. And realize, as Jesus taught in the Gospels through the Lord's Prayer, to forgive and you will be forgiven. You set her free through forgiveness, and then you realize you are actually the one set free. We forgive others and we lay down that burden of any disappointment, any judgment. Do her that honor. Make that gift. Accept the love she was able to show you, the comfort and soothing that she knew how to offer. I conclude this silent time with a wonderful prayer written by May Rowland, the mother of Unity's prayer ministry. She was an enduring mother that guided Unity's prayer work from 1916 to 1971, decade after decade. And she wrote, "Child of light, I bless you. I think of you, I pray for you, not in terms of what I think you need or what I think you should do or be or express. I lift up my thoughts about you. I see you as you truly are, a holy child of light. I see you guided and directed by an inward spirit that leads you unerringly into paths that were just right for you. I see you strong and whole. I see you blessed and prospered. I see you courageous and confident. I see you capable and successful. I see you free from all limitations or bondage of any kind. I see you as the spiritually perfect being you truly are. Child of light, I bless you." This is the Mother Spirit, to behold you in that freedom, that trust, that light. This is the Spirit you may express to others, beholding them, treating them, being present to them with the great mother heart of love, of understanding, of tenderness. And so as you're ready, I invite you to gently allow your attention to return to this outer sanctuary where you're seated among friends. And as you're ready to open your eyes, and And I'll leave you with one last tool. You know I prefer to the word amen. You know the word I prefer. Wow, world of wonders. But a lovely mother here gave me a design, little flyer, about a year ago, and showed me, what is wow upside down? Mom, think about it. Hi, Holly. It's time. Wow, Mom.